Hi, partner! Hello! Kumusta ka? And kumusta mga
Eh,
ka-crown?
neto, partner, very busy as always. Ayun nga, of course, we're doing again the show. And of course, syempre, yung mga other things na pinagkakaabalahan natin behind the
Oo,
scenes.
syempre gusto nating ma-interview na lahat ng mga girls, no, as much as
Totoo
possible.
yun.
Kaya naman, partner, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ating Miss Universe Philippines coverage. At syempre, mga ka-crown, would like to thank those who watched our episode over the weekend. And we were with Corinne Abalos of Mandaluyong, Afia Yeboa of Valenzuela, and Camille Quinola of Ilocos Sur. And for those who may have missed our previous episodes, you can still watch them on our YouTube channel, and that is The Crown Philippines. We still have interviews lined up for you, so please do watch out for our posts. Partner.
All right. Aside from the YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook na nasabi na ng aking partner, please don't forget to check www.thecrown.com. We have actually started partner releasing selected profiles of the Miss Universe Philippines candidates. Please check actually Afia's Afia's profile and another profile no Lynn Campos of Atnitique is already posted. So marami pa po kaming ilalabas na profiles very, very soon. Partner, may mga pabati ka ba bago tayo tuloy-tuloy?
Siyempre, hindi mawawala yan, partner. Bago po ang lahat, would like to give a shout out sa ating mga Crown Philippines subscribers. Hello to Jose Paterno Canseco, Rena Bell, Jade Maligaya, Rief 203, Paulo Angelo Peñas, Anthony Canonaso, Jerome Cabaltera, John Espeña, and Kimbox Plays Minecraft. So ayan, so syempre, thank you po sa ating 345,000 followers on Facebook and making us 45,000 strong on Instagram. And sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel, just click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell para ma-update kayo sa ating latest videos and contents. We are indeed a growing community, so please join us mga ka-crown by subscribing and following us. Magsasaya lang po tayo dito weekend, even weekdays nga, di ba, partner? So please do put down your comments, like and share and follow us on our social media accounts. Partner.
Alright, partner, hindi na ako paligoy-ligoy pa for tonight's guest kasi partner, if you think about it, if you think about it, na this girl actually is no stranger to pageantry. She has actually competed before when she was around 16. So,
Mm-mm.
ang interesting fact about this girl, a while ago, I discovered actually while we were preparing for this interview, was that a fellow candidate of hers in the competition she participated is also competing as well for the same title in India naman. So we will know more about that story later on. And she actually quite actually created quite a conversation when she declared that she was raised by parents from the LGBTQ community. And we will also get to know more about that later on, how it has impacted her life. And of course, partner, she's actually not one of the youngest in this year's batch. And partner, she's now studying a science course at De La Salle University. Diba? So without further ado, please welcome tonight's guest, Miss Simone Nadine Bornilla.
Hi, Miss Alexa. Hi, Sir Christian. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hi,
Thank you,
Simone.
thank
Welcome to the Crown Philippines. Very fresh,
Thank you so
partner.
much. It's my pleasure being here.
Thank you for gracing us. Actually, now, well, let's get straight to the discussions now. Because actually, before we went live, we asked her which one she would be preferred to be called. So she said she can be called Simone or Nadine. But since ako ang magtatan and I prefer calling her by her second name, I'll call her Nadine. Nadine on this. All right, Nadine. As I said earlier, your resume at a young age of 18 speaks for itself. You've already competed abroad. You're taking a science course in LaSalle, which is actually not an easy course from my understanding. And you're competing in Miss Universe Philippines this year. So with juggling school and pageantry, why did you decide to push to compete this year?
I think that as soon as we found out, as soon as me and my parents found out that the height requirement for Miss Universe Philippines was removed, I really had to take the chance because actually I was 16. I was 16 or 17 when we found out that when we found out from my pediatric endocrine specialist that I'm gonna stay 5'3" the rest of my life because I inherited my height from my father, and we're genetically petite. And so ever since then, I really thought that my dream of becoming a beauty queen has come to an end because I started getting into the pageantry industry when I was 14, and still at the time it was fine because these were teen pageants, and so my height was still very much acceptable. But I wanted to try adult pageants, and ever since I found that out, I really thought that that dream was dead. But then once Miss Universe Philippines announced that they don't have a height requirement anymore, I really had to take the opportunity to 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 try to be a candidate at least. And also, I think that it's very fitting for me to become a candidate, especially now because our classes are actually going to start on October. So I think that as of right now, I could really focus on the competition itself.
Alam mo, partner, thumbs up talaga din sa mga organizations that are, kumbaga parang mas tinatanggal yung restrictions. And especially nowadays, if we're talking more about inclusivity, di ba?
Totoo yun, partner, because diba, once upon a time, as we said, no, height is might in a competition. But I think the edition in Florida early this year actually has changed everything. In fact, the Australia's representative is not even 5'4". She's actually 5'3". So I think at this point, yun nga, nasabi mo, inclusivity is very, very important. And after all, it's an international organization in that, is vouching for inclusivity and of course women empowerment and human rights. But go I want to ask you, Renadine, because you, as you said, you started competing in pageants as early as 14. I want to just zero on the fact that when you competed, how did that competition prepared you for what is about to be this journey that you're going through right now?
I think that it at least contributed to a bit of the experience that you have to have when joining pageants. It's not something that you just decide out of the blue and half-hearted. It's not something that you do half-heartedly. And it's been something that I've been really passionate about. So ever since I started joining pageants, the eagerness for the crown has always been there. And I think that because I've already competed in locally and internationally, I've already been exposed to how different it is competing in these two arenas. And so, with that being said, of course, I understand. I understand that adult pageantry and teen pageantry is very, very different, considering that they're looking for a different type of woman. They're looking for, of course, in teen pageants, they're looking for young adults, and in adult pageants, they're looking for women na talaga. So, of course, that's been something that's challenging for me because I've been very much exposed to the teen pageant industry that now I have to break away from that. Now I have to show everyone that I'm already a woman. Being 18, I've already matured so much from when I was 14 and competing on teen international stages.
Mm. Ako, partner, ang follow-up ko lang doon kasi I just want to go back for a bit, no? Kasi syempre we want to understand where did your love for pageants, especially in joining pageants, come from? Was it from an early age pa lang? Nagjo-join ka na ba? How did you start with your journey?
I don't think it was such a. I don't think it was such a complicated for me, complicated thing for me to get into. Considering that I'm in a gay family, you can just imagine how enthusiastic we are, especially us, about pageants. And I remember when I was younger, my parents would always have me watch Beanie with them or any other pageant, and they'd always host watch parties with their friends, and I'd always see them jumping up and down and pulling each other's hairs and shouting. And I always thought to myself that once I'm older, I want to be the girl that makes them that happy. And so ever since then, and also I've just loved being super kikai ever since before. I've just loved being super kikai. I love that not only do these girls handle pressure so well on stage, because of course you can't really tell how easy it is for them. These are something that they've trained for like years or months, for months or years, and you know once they're on stage, they make it look so effortless. So I think that beauty queens have always been something that I've admired, and ever since I was younger, I always aspired to be just like them.
Ang saya, no, partner? At saka, syempre na rin kasi for parents, if you're also seeing that your kid has a lot of potentials, di ba, that would add to the influence and for the push that you're giving your children. And syempre yung self-assessment mo rin, di ba? If you know that you can do this, you can do anything actually, you'll definitely go through and pursue anything that you want in life. Follow up ko na, mabilis lang ako partner na ipa-follow up yun. Kasi syempre, you mentioned nga na you've been joining pageants na ever since, no? And you've been a good representative, definitely, especially na in the Philippines, for the Philippines. But where do you get the motivation to be a good representative of either your community and the Philippines, eventually the Philippines again, ulit in Miss Universe naman?
I think, of course, not to sound so cliche, but I think that it's really what fuels my motivation to work harder and push myself harder. Of course, as I said, I'm a strong ally of the LGBTQ plus community, and with this being said, it's not only because I'm literally in a family of LGBTQ plus community members. Um, you know, um, ever since the story came out that I experienced discrimination from this school that I applied to before, simply because of my family background, simply because I am in a gay family. I've always found it super necessary for me to address this issue, because at the time we weren't able to do anything about it. When we found out that we can legally act on this, it was already too late for us. So I think that when that happened, I think that I took it as a blessing that it happened to me, because if this happened to anyone else, I don't think that they could have handled it better than I did, simply because I had a good support system surrounding me. Although my parents were also very much disheartened by what happened, they really did a good job by staying by my side and helping me cope with what happened. And so ever since then, I really made it my mission to raise a voice for this certain community, of course, because of the issues that they experience until this day.
Partner kasi syempre, no, being part, well, personally, being part of the LGBTQIA community, hearing this story is something that's really, very uplifting for me personally, So, and that's true kasi, things that happen in your environment can really push you a lot and, eventually um, make you stand by for a specific cause for your community. Partner.
All right. Actually, while I was listening to the conversation, I couldn't help but go back to the conversations that we have been having about, of course, I'm sure Nadine is very aware much about the Swansea bill that is still under it's still being fight over at the House of at the House of Representatives. And as a former reporter myself, to hear these kinds of stories is also sometimes it kind of makes me question what I can do more. So of course I have the members of the Crown family to help me, because sometimes as somebody who isn't as somebody who is a who somebody who is in a different perspective, I have to see it from their point of view, the challenges and the discrimination that people go through. So I hope, these types of conversations will be more apparent in every day, because even if in this country we tolerate their presence, I think we still have a long way to go in terms of giving them the rights. That's how I say this part, because my partner is here, the rights and that they really have been wanting to fight for the longest time. It's a basic thing. I'm no lawyer here, but one of the from my experience or from the conversations I've been hearing, at least man lang in terms of sharing of property, that alone is very debatable. That's something I've been hearing as always a constant conversation, and people who have been partners for quite some time. Unfortunately, legally speaking, hindi napupunta doon sa matagal na niyang partner. So these are complicated discussions, but again, for as long as we can open at least the discourse and discourse properly without fighting, let's do that. All right. Before we go serious further, no, I just want to go back, Nadine, because you've competed in pageants and you said that you're trying to show to the universe now that you are not a girl, a teenager anymore. Um, how has competing matured you in a way? Because I sometimes, because I feel that those who compete in pageants are have to mature fast.
Yes. No, actually, ever since my first pageant, I remember right after I fortunately won, of course, I was exposed to a lot of things, and one of them was bashing and negative criticism that I was getting online, and this was and mind you, I was really young at the time, and I don't think I was really handling it well. Of course, my parents and my team, they'd tell me not to respond, and I think that that's the smartest thing they could have told me. Not to respond to any of the bashers. Um, I remember at the time my parents, they were also pretty much heartbroken because they couldn't protect me from it anymore. It's already there, it's already online, and it's there forever. So I guess being exposed to this at such an early age, now being a contestant in Miss Universe Philippines, I'd have to say I don't really mind it anymore. Of course, it's inevitable that you're gonna see people who don't agree with the fact that you're a candidate. They're gonna doubt, like, oh, why is she a candidate? Why didn't this candidate get into 75? She could totally replace her. Um, I think now it doesn't really bother me as much, simply because joining this, I already expected it. Like, I already prepared myself for it, and it's not the first time that I'm seeing it. So I think that in a way, my previous pageants have really prepared me for this, uh, in the most important sense, emotionally.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, which leads me to the next question. Actually, before we really go to the medyo heavy part, I want to know, because I just saw this a couple of hours ago on your Instagram. Actually, one of your good friends from India is also competing in Miss Universe India, if I'm Miss Universe India, and she's actually fighting for a spot. So how does it feel that it's so ironic that both of you competed in the same contest and now are competing in the same contest again?
Very
To be
Catriona
represented,
vibes, no?
di ba? Very,
True.
uh, Their partner, just for your knowledge, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the girl is Rikita. She's
Nikita.
actually competing also for another for the spot kasi top 50. She's part of the top 15 India. So how does it how was it knowing the fact that you're both of you are going through the same journey?
I think that overall it's just very it takes me back. It takes me back, and overall I'm just really really excited because you never know. You never know that if ever we both get the international crown and then we get to see each other again on the international stage, it would be such a huge thing for the both of us. I really miss Radhika. I remember when we first competed in the international pageant, like we were really close. I think my closest friends there were her, Miss Gibraltar, and Canada, because Canada was actually half Filipina. So of course we clicked right away, and I think ever since I found out about the news that actually she's already in top 20 now. She's
Oh,
already in
okay.
top 20, and I just recently messaged her, and she said, "Girl, we're so close. We could do this. Good luck on your interview." And I'm just really excited.
'Di ba, partner, the irony na after competing, there's a possibility na magkita ulit
Magka-classmate na
sila.
naman kayo ulit, Nadine.
Oh, that there's a possibility na magka-classmate ulit. So anything can happen. All right. Now here comes the part that I want to ask you because as you said earlier, you actually went your story actually went viral online and was picked up by a lot of people. You're not ashamed to share that you were raised by parents who are members of the LGBTQ family. You said they come from a gay family, and actually, I want to also know because when you shared that story, the school that you graduated from actually throwed in their support. So, what was your reaction to that? Yeah, after sharing the story, there's this a sudden wave of support coming your way.
Um, at first, I really wasn't expecting it because I really just released this statement just for the sake of doing so. I didn't think that it would catch on a lot of attention because, of course, I was only it was only for my viewers at the time. It was only for my viewers at the time, and I really didn't expect that that it would catch so many people's attention. But I'm really glad that it did because joining this pageant, that was one of my main goals, to be able to share that story, because I think that in doing so it would really be able to inspire a lot of people.
And actually, I just want to no, pardon, I just want to let her also know. Actually, when some people were asking me, we're talking about her story. I even gave her a couple. I gave him some even additional information that I was able to come up with. And if you for those people, for the people out there, the Ashley Knights community is very is actually very interested in her story. In fact, si Ashton Mox Gonzalez and I had a brief discussion, and when he found out about your story, even the fact na nag-aral ka lang, because you both graduated in the same school, and you're actually in LaSalle because he graduated from LaSalle, tuwang-tuwa na siya doon. So I'm just letting you know that. So kasi we have these kinds of conversations with other friends in the community, and they're very happy that you were brave to share your story. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I would say it serves as an eye opener, no, that gay families are not dysfunctional families. We are normal, functional families, sheltering love, care, and support to our children. Just look and listen to Nadine. Her dads have really done a great job, I would say. Salute to your dads, Nadine.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Mhm. Yeah, but before that part, I also want to let her know, no, your story, I'm sure your situation is not far from some of the others that I also met, because even in the entertainment industry, there are a lot of people out there who share the same story, hindi lang masyado na expose, pero yon. But now, medyo bago pa maging heavy ang
Ang
usapan.
dami nating sinabi,
Oo,
partner, no? Diba?
medyo na nga
Pasensya
heavy.
ka na, Nadine, kasi syempre,
Oo,
whenever the topic's close to your heart and you see a girl, speaking like this in front of you, it's really something
Yeah.
that's, very noteworthy.
Oo. This is the first time na talagang diretso kami ng aking partner magsalita ng mga tanong about this because it's really a good and ako na as again going back to being a former reporter, these are conversations that need to be discussed. So we just hope that it would be talked about more. All right, medyo nagiging sobrang seryoso na to. We now come to the topic, to the segment rather, that everybody is waiting for. So I will turn this over to my partner for some light moment.
Ayun na nga, bago pa tayo makomenta ng ating mga ka-crown. Pero hindi pa po tapos mga ka-crown ang pag-uusyoso natin sa ating guest for tonight. And what we did in the last few days, Nadine, was to stalk your Instagram account lang naman ng konti. And we will be flashing a couple of photos that maybe you can share some fun bits or pa behind the scenes of those photos naman. So this is what we call
Should
the
I be
photo race
scared
segment.
po?
No, no naman. So, hinanda natin to para sa iyong mga fans and ating mga ka-crown. Okay. Direct, let's flash the first photo for today. Ayan. So, Nadine, can you tell us more about this photo?
I think this was when we were holding screening for my very first pageant ever, Miss Philippine Youth, and I think my dad just he always wanted me to post pictures at the time, so so there I think the pants were made by Tito Michael Santa Maria. She's actually a really close family friend of ours. Um and yeah, I think there's not really much story to it because it's really just the screening of my first ever pageant.
What would you say would be the your most memorable experience, being a Miss Philippine Youth?
I think my most memorable experience ever is, of course, getting to know all the girls talaga. Because we were at the time we were 180 candidates, and then we just kept getting cut down. And I think by the final side we were already like 70 or 80 candidates. And even then, I really kept a lot of close friends that I still talk to until this day. And I just had a lot of fun memories with them.
Ang saya, no? Siguro partner yung sisterhood na bata ka pa lang, alam mo na yung, I mean, you're exposed to the meaning and the purpose of, being sisters with other girls is really something that can help you out in your experiences further in life. So, sige, thank you, Nadine, for sharing some information about this photo. We have another photo for you. Direct, pa-flash na po.
Oh,
Yan. So, sige, can you share us more about this photo, Nadine?
I've always loved participating in projects like these. I remember, I think this is when a friend of mine from pageantry also, they invited me to this group called Reach Out, and it's basically these group of people who come up with programs, and then regularly they they go to these communities and they just entertain the kids, the elderlies, and I have always loved participating in those ever since before when I was younger. And so this was just me. This was just me reading the books for the children, and I remember I was cringing at myself because I'm not very I don't sound too good whenever I speak in Tagalog. I think I sound very I think I sound very jologs whenever I do. That's why I speak in English most of the time. And I think I just had the most grand time with the children.
How does it feel, Nadine, participating in activities for younger kids?
I think that it's very fulfilling. It's very fulfilling, and I've always been drawn talaga to to projects with kids, especially because they're not very hard to please. They're not very hard to please. It's very easy to entertain them. And just so long as they it's obvious that you're a kind-hearted person, it's automatic that they'd like you, and it's not really hard to get along with them. That's why ever since then I've really been drawn to these types of projects.
True. And siguro, syempre, no, everyone can sense naman din yung sincerity of the actions, and it can definitely bridge you with the other person that you are in front of. Once again, we're very proud of you. Thank you for sharing more
Thank you so
details
much.
about this photo. But we have one more photo for you, Nadine. Ayan. Sige, direct pa-flash na po ang ating third photo for today. There. Now for this next photo, yung caption ang mas nakaagaw ng pansin namin. And since theme naman din ng Miss Universe Philippines, this edition is inspire you. We want to know your thoughts or even emotions behind these captions. So I think it has something to do your caption, no? When thoughts of self-doubt start polluting you, ayan, ano ba yun? Medyo maliit lang yung ating caption. But can you tell us more about this? What were the emotions behind this post?
Um, I think at the time, because it was our moving up ceremony, so after that, I'd already be in senior high school. And, just at the time, of course, we've all been there. We've all been there. Though I was so sure that I've been a really, really good student, you can't ever be, you can't ever be too certain. And I think that every student, no matter how good they're doing in school, just irrationally, they have that irrational fear that they're failing, and and when I was younger, I always had that. I always had that self doubt, whether I performed as well as I could in school. And so, finally, I was just there. I was on my moving up ceremony, and it was it was just a really heartwarming moment to live in.
Yeah, kumbaga, all the sacrifices, the sleepless nights studying, memorizing, no? Diba? Basta you have that determination, you'll definitely achieve your goal. So, thank you for sharing that, Nadine. And ayun na nga, I'm sure you have inspired our viewers through your posts. And kasi nga, di ba, partner, sabi nga natin, every once in a while, it's really good to see different perspectives in life because it challenges to be more open to the people around us and more so to the universe. The universe, yeah. Sige, thank you, Nadine. Back to you, partner.
All right. While we while we wait for direct to fix lang something, no, I'm going to say this na lang na, we have gotten to know Nadine quite well, and I think the story is already very inspiring. But now it's now for the it's hindi medyo nabubulala ako dito sa dapat kong script, ha. Pero actually, okay, ito na. Ang totoo po, it happens. And now it's time for us to get to know how what she has learned, rather, with so many things. At sa dami na ng interview na ginawa niya, baka masyado namang seryoso yung mga interview. So we decided it's time to test her wit. That's what we call the Wiki-with-corner. Now, for those who have been watching our Miss Universe episodes, you know perfectly well that Witty-wit is patterned after the Miss Q&A portion of each showtime. So, medyo bago namin talaga bigyan ng mga seryosong tanong si Nadine, medyo titetest namin kung gaano siya ka-funny if ever at sagutin itong mga unusual questions if she does ever encounter them in the future. So without further ado, direct ang unang tanong. Nadine, ang iyong tanong ay, ang shampoo ba pag nabawasan, siyam na lang?
Okay, I understood it. Medyo slow ako nung una ha, but now I understood it. So I guess mathematically, in a sense, yes. Ang shampoo pag nabawasan, siyam na lang.
Ah, why not? Malay na nga naman natin, partner, 'di ba?
Simple mathematics nga naman, partner.
Ako
Diba?
rin And
Oh.
for somebody, parang napakamot ako doon. Sorry kasi, sorry, math is not one of my strongest points. Alam naman natin yan. Alam naman natin yan. But for somebody who's taking up a science course, she would know. She would know that. Sa dami
She's
ng
More
just stating a fact na oo nga naman, no, may
more of
reduction eh. So, sure na
computational.
lang.
yung mga sa dami ba naman ng equations na pag-aaralan mo sa science later on, siguro naman may
Yes,
point.
yes po.
May point tayo dyan. Good one. All right. Direct. Ang pangalawang tanong po, please. Ito. Nadine, kung ang pansit ay pampahaba ng buhay, bakit hindi ito nire-reseta ng doktor?
Ay, hindi ko alam kung paano sagutin yung mga tanong na.
Sabi niyo na din siguro, ano ba itong mga tanong na to?
Oo.
Rhetorical kasi. Kaya,
Go! Kaya mo yan, girl. Kaya mo yan.
sa lahat ng
Walang,
Q&A na
walang time.
pinaghandaan ko.
Walang time limit to. Walang time limit to. Isipin mo na lang, kung ma-encounter mo tong tanong na to, paano mo sasagutin to?
Kung ang pansit ay mamahama ng bukas, bakit hindi ito nire-reseta ng doktor?
Oh.
Maybe so they wouldn't lose their job kasi then hindi sila hindi mabibigyan ng dahilan yung mga pasyente na pumunta pa sa doktor. Kaya mo.
Totoo naman din yun, di
Totoo.
ba? Oh.
Totoo naman din.
Business-minded si Nadine, partner.
Yeah, thank you for being a good sport about this. Yun nga, alam mo, we normally do this segment because we always think, my partner and I always felt na masyado ng seryoso ang mga tanong na binubugbog sa inyo. Eh, paano kung bigyan nga naman kayo ng mga unusual questions? Case in point nga, ang fine example namin is si Brooke Lee. What is the one thing that you would do if given a chance? And ang sinabi lang ni Brooke Lee, ang famous answer is niya, I would eat and eat everything for a day. So, now that's what you call personality. So ngayon medyo nakita na natin ang personality ni Nadine. Ngayon, eto na. We will go to the real questions. Now, these questions are categorized under easy, difficult, and of course, the last is the Miss Universe question. So, direct flash the first question. Partner, you might want to ask this question.
Sure. All right. So for the easy round, Nadine, the question is, what is the one thing you will teach your future children about your experience in pageantry? I will repeat the question. What is the one thing you will teach your future children about your experience in pageantry?
Pageantry will never get easy, but it's always worth it at the end. It's something that I've come to learn during my previous pageants, of course. And, amidst all the sacrifices that you put in merely just preparing for it, at the end, all of that just comes to fruition because you're finally there, you're finally representing your locality or your country even. And I think that merely just that, it's all worth it.
Kumbaga, parang it also makes you realize alam mo yun, no? Your, what you stand behind for your community, no?
Yes.
Ganda.
Thank you for that. All right, now we go to the difficult round for Nadine. I don't think it's technically difficult because this question is something that is close to her heart. Direct. Paso. Wait. Yeah, let's wait lang for that. All right. Nadine. Violence against the LGBTQ community continues today despite the initiatives pushed for them. How can you, as a beauty queen, push for in defending their rights?
I think my candidacy merely already does that work for me. I think that being offered such a big platform to raise a voice for the concerns and the violence against the community, I think that that is enough. I think that it is. I think that it is at least a stepping stone for me to reach the goal that I want to achieve. Of course, I remember, once I already shared that once I already shared my story, a lot of people came forward with their own stories, and I think that it's a really heartwarming thing knowing that I've become this person for them. I've become someone that they could confide in, and someone who could raise a voice for them when they don't feel bold enough to do so themselves. I think that, of course, being given this platform, I can also empower them to do so.
See, well, say mo partner from your perspective.
Totoo naman din yun. Ayaw ni Camille na mga, gusto ni Camille yung mga seryosong tanong kasi laban na si Nadine, no? So, I agree, partner, kasi kumbaga parang it all starts from awareness, spreading awareness, diba? And then from awareness sprouts influence, and it can influence change to the rest of the community. Ang ganda ng sagot ni Nadine.
Totoo naman 'yan, and as we all know, violence continues, it's not just here in the Philippines, but of course around the
All
world.
over the world, yes.
Yeah, all over the world, of course. We don't have to look far. Unfortunately, a recent story of a gay person went viral again online somewhere in Mindanao, and of course Afghanistan is the people in Afghanistan are also going through a lot. The LGBTQ community in Afghanistan is also going through a lot of issues themselves. So this is an issue that needs to be addressed, and we hope it will be addressed very soon because with the pandemic and all of these harsh realities, there's a lot to be addressed worldwide now. As much as we want to expand our discussion for tonight, will have to let Nadine go, but not just yet without asking the final question, which we have been asking all our guests here on The Crown. Nadine, for their final question, why do you deserve to be Miss Universe Philippines?
I think that I deserve to be Miss Universe Philippines because I'm a team player. I believe that I can be an asset to the organization in helping them achieve their goals of inspiring people. And in turn, they could help me achieve my goal. And I think that, as a team player, I think that, of course, I trust the organization wholeheartedly ever since the beginning. And I think that trust in a team is a very important thing.
And with that wraps up tonight's conversations, partner.
Yes, thank you again, Nadine, for gracing the Crown Philippines and for letting us know more about you and inspiring us through your stories. And before we let you go, we will give the floor back to you kung meron kang gustong pasalamatan or i-promote, especially your social media accounts. Please do.
Okay, so as we're shooting this right now, votation is still ongoing. Of course, I'd really, really love for everyone to support me. And we're already in top 50. We're already in top 50 and just onting push na lang. And we're already going to get to top 30 on national stage. And I'll be able to bring Marinduque as far as I possibly could into the competition. And I really want to be given the chance to do so. And of course, I'll make every one of your votes count. And I won't make you regret it. And of course, I want to thank my parents. I want to thank everyone who's been supporting me ever since day one. Of course, Mamuto Nachua, my makeup artist, my stylist, Tito Patrick Henry Mergano, and my accredited partner, Miss Monica Ravanera. And of course, my family and friends, and everyone else who's been consistently voting for me. It really, really means a lot, especially now. Of course, the pressure is getting the pressure is getting stronger and stronger each day, and I think that's basically it. Thank you guys so
Where
much
can
for
they
the
follow
support.
you, Nadine?
Oh, to follow me on my Facebook, my name is Simone Nadine Bornilla, and on Instagram, it's at Simone Bornilla.
There you have it, mga ka-crown. Thank you again, Nadine. And thank you po sa mga nanood for tonight. Thank you again for making us 345,000 strong on Facebook and 45,000 strong on Instagram. And sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel, just click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell para ma-update kayo sa ating latest videos and contents. Partner,
Yes, and please don't forget to log on to www.thecrown.com. As we said, we will be releasing selected profiles of the Miss Universe Philippines candidates. And please don't forget, nasabi naman actually na ni Nadine to continue voting. Please do download the Miss Universe Philippines app. The next challenges will be announced actually. And as we are talking right now, they're going to be preparing to upload anytime soon the next challenge. So abangan ho natin yan because it's from the top 50. We're going to say goodbye very very soon because makikilala na natin ang top 30. So medyo nagiging intense na talaga ang competition. So please do continue to watch out for our next episodes of The Crown. And with that, good night and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye!
Good
hey
night,
mga ka-crown, good
everyone.
night!